Hey everybody, my name is Miasma, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 commanders as of March 2026. Full context, I've only been playing Magic in general for only a year since about February of 2025, and I've really only played EDH. I've never played CEDH, don't really have much interest in it. Fairly casual. I would say my favorite area to play in is around bracket 3. So if that gives you any context for this, this is going to be a series too I want to expand upon in the future because I believe that there's going to be adjustments to this. I've played upwards of I think about 18 decks last time I counted, like in terms of actually like tried to experience games with them, and so I try to limit it to top 10 for now. And as I play more and more decks, because I'm very addicted to this game, I'm going to see how this top 10 shapes out. So I will do more videos about this in the future. More lists. So number 10 is one that I have on here that I have played on and off for a while, but it's probably on the chopping block because I tend to not play it as much anymore. This is Cathrall Aspect Warper, I believe from Ikoria. This is an Abzan insect horror commander that is it's a nightmare insect, I believe, that is really about getting +1/+1 counters on it and ability counters. It basically steals all the abilities of creatures in your graveyard. So I run it as an intense self-mill strategy, and then kind of a one-shot kill with Cathrall. Because of that, it can be a little boring. Games either end really quickly and you kind of just piss off the table, or you spend a lot of time doing nothing because you aren't maybe hitting like the best mills. Sometimes you hit your lands. Sometimes your Cathrall will get countered. If anybody knows what they're doing, if you can't give it hexproof or some kind of like protection or something like that, they're gonna just try and kill it. If you can't hit that indestructible, if you can't hit the proper keywords, it's not gonna live very long. And it is fun though to sometimes just commander damage someone very, very quickly. And this one has a soft spot in my heart. I believe it's the second deck that I ever built from scratch, kind of. It was the first one I kind of built with or the second one I think I ever built like with singles and recommendations from like EDH Rec and some other places, YouTube videos. I don't think my list is all that perfect. Maybe I'll start uploading lists here on the channel of what I do have. So Cathrall Aspect Warper, have a big spot in my heart for that deck and that commander. I'm a huge fan of Starship Troopers, so I like the big scary bug kind of thing. Cool deck. Try it out if you want to one-shot kill. If you want some quick games in your group. Try out Cathrall. Number 9 is Ariette of the Charmed Apple. I don't remember the set. Eldraine, I'm assuming. This is a Orzhov Aura's commander that is all about Life Drain. Life Drain is kind of one of my favorite things, I think, in Magic, especially as like a newer player. I am not a huge combat person. I like to kind of be a little bit of a menace at the table and kind of sit back under certain protection, something like that. Ariette kind of makes it so that way your opponent's creatures can't hit you. I really like that. It's a pretty unique play style. It's very risky because you are giving enchantments to a lot of your opponent's creatures and you're kind of buffing them up. Everything that you give an aura can't hit you as long as Ariette is on board. So you have that inherent protection with how the deck works. But if she dies, you're kind of screwed. That kind of sucks. I play a lot of like the impetuses in that deck, like Parasitic and Martial Impetus, so that way the things are goaded, even if she's not on the board. And yeah, I like enchantments. I like Orzhov. It's a good mix. Number 8 is the first pre-con I ever purchased, and the first Magic product I ever purchased since coming back to the game. That is Miss Bumbleflower. So Miss Bumbleflower is Bant, Group Hug, I think the best group hug commander in the game, and it's really really fun. It's also unique. It's you're helping the other people at the table with giving them cards, but you're giving the other people at the table benefits, but you're getting the most benefit. It's very very interesting, and a lot of people really underestimate this deck, and you kind of come out of nowhere. Bubble Flower gets huge very quickly, and she has Vigilance. So it can be a very scary commander for people who aren't really paying attention as you're sort of doing your thing. And you're in pretty cool colors. It's the only Bant deck I've ever played. So it's kind of cool to have some of the sort of like protections of like white and blue with like the ramp of green. I really like the Tempt with cards in this deck, like the Tempt with Discovery and Tempt with Bunnies, because you're like getting tokens, and you're getting lands, and like technically other people at the table could get things. If they benefit, you benefit the most. So it's a really cool strategy. I think it's pretty fun for like, especially like casual tables with your friends, where like you can kind of like not necessarily king make, but you can sort of just like play some politics with it. I like commanders like that. It's pretty fun, especially if you have some friends that are newer to the game. I don't recommend playing this one first, because I think group hug might be a strategy kind of unique in Magic, and it might not give them a good sense of like what to do, how to address a table all of the time. But I do think if you've played a little bit and you're playing with other people for the first time, Bubble Flower could be a good commander for some funny moments. It's like, oh, why'd you let that guy draw a card? What am I doing here? Bubble Flower, really good commander. Number 7 is Alayla, specifically Alayla Cunning Conqueror. This is the Dimir fairy one from the Precon. I think also Eldraine. This is a very draw go deck, the way that I have it built. A lot of low mana, counter magic, other instants and things with flash. I play like Leyline of Anticipation, I think it is, in this deck. You're largely playing on everybody else's turn. And because you really get benefit from doing so, you get fairies. When the fairies hit your opponent, they're evasive, they have flying. When they hit your opponent, you can goad their creatures. I'm kind of a big fan of goad. And I like kind of the politics of the table, of deciding like who am I going to goad this turn. I'm not the hugest fan of blue necessarily, so that's why some of like Bone Flower and Layla are kind of like down here a little bit lower. For me personally, I kind of like being able to do stuff on my turn, but once in a while, it's cool to have like a very reactive deck where you play your land and you kind of just like pass. You have a Layla out there, you play your land, oh, okay, go ahead. And then like the whole world kind of opens up to you once your opponents like start playing, and you can be reactive and proactive. So I really like Alayla. Really cool commander. Really cool artwork on that one too. Number 6 is arguably the most complicated one, I think, on my list. This is Brina the Demagogue from original Strixhaven. I really like this commander. She is another Orzhov one, kind of becoming my favorite color combination at this point. And it's, again, kind of political. +1/+1 counters kind of theme going on with her. She's worded kind of oddly, I think, for a lot of players, where you're kind of rewarding people for not swinging at the person that's in last. So if they attack someone who is not in the lowest life total, it's gonna draw cards and then and then you as the Brina player are gonna get +1/+1 counters. You actually get 2 of them every time it happens. So it makes people kind of like think. In my experience too, it's also kind of made games a little bit longer, because people are kind of like taking extra time to think about like who to swing at and stuff like that, and is it worth giving me the counters and stuff like that. Politics aspect of it kind of goes hard with Brina. I play a lot of like low to the ground unblockable creatures, like little spirit things and changeling outcast and things that are going to hit, change life totals for the table, make Brina alive. And then she's a flyer that grows throughout the game. So yeah, I really like Brina. You play a lot of like the cool spells that I really love in Orzhov. Yeah, it's a fun deck. Number 5. This is one I've more recently built. And I guess I'll be specific verbally because I don't really have a lot of space there. Beator, Ancestor's Voice. This is the Beator that came in the precon, I think, in Tarkir Dragonstorm. It's not the one that cares about toughness. It is the other one that is this is a reanimator deck with life gain and life loss. So basically, it's a cool dragon that, like, at the end of your turn, for life that you have gained, you get +1/+1 counters on another creature you control. Life you've lost, you reanimate. For something that's, I think it's less than or equal to the value that you have lost. So during your turn, very often when I play this deck, I have I'll have two D20s, and I'm like constantly adjusting how much life I've gained and lost in a specific turn, because they both end up mattering at the end. And you can play some like really cool, interesting cards in here, like Hatred, where you pay a ton, you swing with something, they declare no blocks, and you just cast Hatred. You pay a whole bunch of life. You can kill a player, and then you're gonna end up gaining that life back because Beator has lifelink. You play a lot of other lifelinkers in the deck, and you get counters for doing so, and then you get to reanimate for the life that you did pay. So it's very interesting. I was inspired to build that one off of a YouTube channel called Guild Pack. I think Eric is the guy on that channel. A really cool deck, really cool play style. I think pretty unique. It does kind of like 3 sort of like deck ideas like pretty well. It's also I'm kind of a fan of Abzan if I'm going to play 3 colors. Yeah, Beator Ancestor's Voice, pretty cool. Number 4 is my favorite Kindred commander or tribal commander, Giada, Font of Hope. So Giada is Angels. This is the first deck I ever built, getting singles and so forth. It's mono white. I don't think the build I have is necessarily the best, but I like playing it. I like the idea that I kind of like really put it together from just recommendations and stuff like that. I buy a lot of precons and sort of just adjust them. It felt good that this was like a cool like deck building experience of me like trying out different cards and seeing what was in some of like white cards that were like in my bulk and stuff like that, whatever Angels I might have had, seeing what Angels other players play. Yeah, it's kind of straightforward. You know, she's a low to the ground Angel. She's like a mana dork for your other Angels. You play really big Angels, they get bigger. There's a lot of really good Angels in this game, like Avacyn. And yeah, it's just really cool. I love the artwork of all the Angel cards pretty much in Magic. I don't have them yet, but someday I want to play the meld ones, the ones that you flip them over and they make like a whole different new creature. I haven't added those yet. But yeah, if those go in Giada, let me know if you think, or if they're pretty bad in Giada, let me know as well. Maybe I won't do that. Number 3 is some of my play group knows this as my former number 1. This is a very recent adjustment, and I feel bad even writing her name on here. Marin of Clan Nel Toth. Even at the time of recording my first video, she was kind of really in these 3 you could probably move them around at any given time for me. These 3, there's a real big gap. Marin was my favorite commander for a long time. This is Golgari Reanimation. She's like, she gets you experience counters, which really, besides various niche things, they're very hard to get rid of. So everything when something on your side of the field dies, you as the player get an experience counter. At the end of the turn, she's resurrecting things from the graveyard based upon the amount of experience counters you have, or they just go back to your hand. So there's not really like a downside. Like, You can put something back into your hand. You can bring it back to the field. She's in Golgari colors, which is probably my second favorite color scheme at this point of my Magic career. And she's just so fun. Her artwork is great. I love Reanimator. I love black is my favorite color. So you play a lot of like scary creatures. You play a lot of like oh my god! Like I have like the Shieldreds in like my version. I have like you play things like Buried Alive, which also goes really hard in like Cathrall, where you can really mold your graveyard. Play some dredge creatures like Golgari Grave Troll, Stinkweed Imp to dump stuff into your graveyard to bring back with Marin. And then of course you have like Aristocrat, Sacrifice stuff. Another thing that I really like about Black. So you're gonna kill your stuff, hopefully kill your opponent's cards, and then reanimate them. I haven't mentioned this, but my current favorite card in all of Magic, maybe this deserves its own video, is Grave is Dictate of Erebos or Grave Pact. Really, they kind of go hand in hand and kind of do similar things. I really like using those kind of effects in decks like these because then you sacrifice, you make the board get rid of things, and then you're going to reanimate. But yeah, I really like Marin for those reasons. She's only down to 3 currently because I've really fallen in love with 2 other decks of recent playthroughs. Yeah, I love Marin. At any time, she could probably pop down into 1. But who knows? Number 2. I hope I spelled this right. Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls from Duskmourn. This is the first and only appearance of red in my top 10. Red is my least favorite color in Magic, I think. I want to say pip-wise, my Valgavoth deck probably leans a little more toward black. I don't know, but I really like this. This is like kind of like a ping kind of like burn deck. With stuff on your opponent's turn. You're really taxing them on everything they do. If they play a creature, they're losing life. If they play a land, they're losing life. Sometimes, some cards, if they're leaving untapped lands, they're going to lose life. If they tap their lands for mana, they're going to lose life. And every time you lose life, Valgavoth, for the first time in their turn, when they lose life, Valgavoth's going to get a counter, and you're going to +1/+1, and you're going to draw a card. And he's a very scary flyer. Amazing artwork. I love Duskmourn so much. I wish I was like playing the game when Duskmourn was first releasing. Plus like this oh, there's the time. This pre-con would not have been so expensive. And I love it. It's totally worth the money, and it's totally worth like upgrading. It's also really good out of the box. If you can't afford really like upgrades for something, if you can still get your hands on this Precon, it is so good out of the box. With upgrades, it goes hard, but like it's just really fun, and like it's very, very simple. It's pretty straightforward. I just think it'd be okay for like some new players if they don't kind of mind being the villain at the table. I don't mind being the villain at the table at all. But just know he will, if the other people that are at the table are smart, they're gonna just try and kill him. It makes sense. Valgavoth is big, he's scary. He's by far my favorite deck with red in it, and he's my second favorite commander right now, overall. Number 1, the queen of my list. By the way, if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button, and let me know what your, some of your top commanders are, and have any like held the test of time throughout years of you playing this game, or have some commanders really jumped higher on your list? Are any of these commanders on your list? Please let me know. My number 1 is going to be a little bit similar to other things that I've liked on this list. So my number 1 is Karmin Cruel Sky Marcher from the Vampire Ixalan Precon from a few years ago. She was the secondary commander in that deck. For a while, I was playing that deck as Clavileno, and making it kind of vampire tribal, and it was okay. but I just lean toward Carmen's playstyle more. I call this deck kind of like sacrifice tribal in the sense that like I play a lot of like edict effects, and like I said, I have my Dictate of Erebos, my Grave Pact. This is not a nice person deck. I probably would not do this if your friends are playing like for the first time ever or something. Definitely talk it over with them. I always bring up that I'm playing Carmen in like Rule Zero and that she's like pretty sacrifice heavy. It's still, my build is still bracket 3, but I also have like a secret commander in there, Tergrid. I know. Yeah, it does all the fun things I love about Black. There's aristocrat elements in there. Carmen gets stronger for everything that's sacrificed, including your opponent's things, and including stuff like fetch lands. So I play like all the fetch lands I possibly can, and then on a chat trigger, she gets you a permanent back from your graveyard, less than or equal to a mana value to her power. So she makes your fetch lands like constantly reusable, and she allows you to reanimate smaller creatures, and she's going to get bigger throughout the game. So when you're sacrificing these creatures, you're able to like bring them back. Works so well with like one of my other favorite cards in this game, Blood Artist. And I really, really love Carmen. I love Orzhov. I love Sacrifice. And yeah, and she's can get to be like a big scary flyer that a lot of people have to respect. If I had to say a downside, she costs 5 mana out of the gate. Kind of hurts a little bit sometimes because when she dies, she's 7, then she's 9. But yeah, if you give her some protection, put some boots on her or something like that, then you're in business. And yeah, I really love Carmen. But yeah, this is my top 10 now. Cathedral, Ariet, Bumbleflower, Alayla, Cunning Conqueror, Brina, Baator, specifically Ancestor's Voice, Giada, Font of Hope, Marin of Clan Nel-Toth, Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls specifically, and Carmen, Cruel Sky Marcher. But yeah, let me know what you think about this list. I think maybe by now, if you've watched this whole thing, you might know a little bit about the playstyle that I like in Magic. Not necessarily the nicest thing in the world, I suppose, but hey, sometimes I play Bumbleflower and sometimes I'm a nice guy. If there are commanders that you think I would like based upon these, please let me know. I'm always trying to explore new decks, build new decks, and grow an experience in this game. So, yeah, thank you so much. My name is Miasma, and I'll see you next time.